A 1987 Kentucky Post story described the perpetual motion machine that was Betty Zimmer. Betty Zimmer seems to bustle, even when she is sitting still, Post staff writer Peggy Crimer wrote. When she talks about a project, it is the most important project she has ever seen. Her eyes shine, her hands move, and she is already 5 years down the road describing the good it will do. At the time, Betty's most important project was turning a Covington building donated by developer Bill Butler into a permanent home for Be Concerned. She had already decided that the venue was just what her group needed to transform itself from strictly a Christmas program into a year-round free food pantry. Covington had no such program at the time. Already a social services veteran, among other accomplishments, she had helped to establish the Northern Kentucky Mental Health Association. Betty had a talent, said her daughter, Nancy Hildebrand, to get you to do something and make you believe it was your idea. She'd ask anybody for anything. Betty mobilized her family and friends into a food collection network that gleaned farmers' fields, picked up day-old items from groceries, and organized food drives at schools and churches. Other volunteers worked on the building, a former Sears Tire and Lawn Implement store, to make it a bright and cheerful place. The pantry opened in June of 1987. The initial response confirmed the need Betty had seen. Within a year, it was serving 300 low-income households a month. For Betty, it was a given that her family should help. Her husband, Charlie, became a regular at produce houses in Cincinnati looking for deals. Nancy recorded donor information and helped with appeal and thank you letters. Nancy's husband, Kim, a banker, kept the books. Whatever Mom was doing, she brought it into the house and wanted us to catch her passion, Nancy said, and she was very successful at that. When the Zimmer's grandkids began arriving, Betty recruited them, too. Nancy's daughter Kelly debuted at Be Concerned as a 5-year-old in 1985 sorting jelly packets for the Christmas store. Her family followed the mantra that Betty had instilled in her other Be Concerned volunteers, that the people who turned to the organization for help should be treated with courtesy and respect. Said Nancy, her motto was that if we wouldn't eat it or wear it or use it, we didn't put it in our pantry or our thrift stores. After Betty got the pantry firmly established and running, she realized it needed structure to ensure its future. To that end, in 1988, Be Concerned dropped its affiliation with the Diocese of Covington and set a course to become an independent organization. First order of business? Form a board. It was no surprise that the first officers were all from the Zimmer clan. Betty was president, Charlie vice president, Kim Hildebrand treasurer, and the Zimmer's nephew, Paul Shepard, secretary. Nancy was elected a member. Betty didn't live long enough to see the organization the 5 years down the road to which the Post had alluded. She died of cancer in 1989. But she left Be Concerned in capable hands. After Mom died, there was an incredibly strong resolve in the family to keep the organization going, Nancy recalled. That came from the love for the organization that she instilled in us, and we instilled in our kids. In the 26 years since Betty died, there has always been at least one Zimmer or Zimmerkin on the Be Concerned board or advisory board, with Kelly and her cousins, Peter Zimmer and Carolyn Rolls, joining their elders in that service. Charlie finished his final board term last December, just 6 months before his death. Nancy continues as a member today. But the Zimmer's involvement extended far beyond the board. Charlie was a Wednesday thrift store volunteer for years, and he and fellow board member Larry Schell raised more than $20,000 selling entertainment books for the organization. Betty and Charlie's son David and his wife Rose have been longtime major sponsors of the golf outing and Team Be Concerned regulars in the annual Hunger Walk. Nancy has functioned as Be Concerned's historian, works on the golf outing and Hunger Walk, and in the Christmas store. Other members of the family help with financial donations, drives, and special events. Betty championed many causes in her life, Nancy said, but Be Concerned was the fruition of all of her efforts. And were Betty around today, she'd be happy about what the organization has become. If Mom saw what was going on here today, she'd be so proud, Nancy said. It's as true to the heart of what my mom imagined as it was when she started it. Betty would be particularly heartened at the way Be Concerned has grown from its Zimmer roots, Nancy said. Even after all the Zimmers are gone, Be Concerned will have the same heart.